My name is Rush. I drive for Southern Rail, and I've been a train driver for around 11 years now. Train driving wasn't something that I've always aspired to be. Actually, I wanted to be a pilot, so it's kind of close, but not quite there. I was actually a police officer for a number of years. I kind of fell into train driving, and it's turned out to be a great opportunity.
A lot of people ask me, what it's like being a train driver. They think it's just about sitting on your bum all day, pushing a lever backwards and forwards. And I'll be totally honest, before I started train driving, I thought it was going to be an easy life. And I can say with my hand on my heart, it's the hardest job I've ever done. You are sat down and you have to be 100% focused, 100% concentrating, 100% of the time. Every time you're in that seat, you cannot let the ball drop for 1 millisecond, because then you can miss something vital. And I go home exhausted and drained. I suppose the first incident I've ever had as a driver with trespassing was pretty soon after I passed out and got we call it the key, and qualify as a driver. It was late at night and I'd stopped the train, opened the doors, let the passengers off, and I was going through my pre-departure checks, checking the monitors, making sure the platform was clear, no one was on the platform, no one too close to the train. Must have been about 11 o'clock at night, and I closed the doors and I was doing a final check. I was just about to pull the handle to accelerate away from the station when I nearly jumped out of my skin. My face appeared climbing up from the track. If I'd literally taken power 2 seconds earlier, that young lad would have been under the train and it would have been awful. I don't even want to put into words the pain and agony that he'd have gone through.
I was coming down on the London Bridge fast, going 70 miles an hour. It was at night time and the weather was raining. I remember just seeing something in the distance. I couldn't quite exactly work out what it was. But as I was coming along, I noticed that there was 2 people on the track. I immediately put the emergency brakes in, pressed the emergency button, the usual protocol. After a few seconds later, the 2 people were actually kind of stumbled and they're on my track. So I was kind of powerless at this point because I've already applied the emergency brake, I've done what I needed to do. And it was a young girl and a police officer that was on my track. And driving the train at 70 miles an hour, when you put the emergency brake in, it takes an awfully long time to stop. The train's very heavy and it takes it to a mile. And thankfully, just before passing them, the police officer and the woman actually jumped onto the next part of the track and I missed them by about 2 to 3 meters. And I remember it being terrifying because after I stopped, I couldn't really move, and I was still trying to speak to the signaller and, keeping up with the correct wording and the safety procedures, but it was very difficult. And after that happened, I wasn't able to drive the train at the time. The managers had to come and they, assisted me in moving the train to a certain location where we could detrain the passengers.
I absolutely went through 100 emotions in one go. Anger. I can remember opening my door and screaming at this poor passenger. They had climbed up onto the platform by then, and there's me like a madman screaming at them. And it turned out that they had seen the train come in. They were late. They were about, teenager, 15, 16. And it was the last train home and he wanted to get on that train. And the only way to get on the train was to cross the track. But he didn't realise I couldn't see him because you're really low down and I'm high up in the train, but the visibility is quite small and you can't see.
Usually I'm quite calm, collective in these situations, but I remember this being very, very different because it was out of my control. So as a train driver, we don't really have the opportunity to do anything other than apply the emergency brakes. Once we've done that, we're kind of helpless in what we can do. Knowing that I potentially could have killed both of them, the girl as well as the police officer doing his job trying to protect her whilst being on the track when she shouldn't have been. You know, train driving is all about preparing for the job and a lot of route knowledge. It's very difficult for us to prepare for the unexpected, such as a person being on the track.
So I pulled away, and then about 3 minutes later, the adrenaline surge that had gone through me, it just completely hit me. And I went into sort of, I suppose, shock in a way, and I got the shakes. I was like this, and I was thinking, I can't do this. I made an announcement and called up the onboard supervisor to come to the cab, because I realised I could have killed that person with just 1 second difference. Even though I've had no direct accidents, as it were, the near misses and scenarios that I've encountered, they do leave you questioning yourself a lot.
The two key things I could say to you now to keep safe in the railway is to make sure that you are behind the yellow line. It's very important for your safety, and as well as it's important for us as well, particularly if you have rucksacks and so on, or protruding items which could get caught as well. The second thing that I would say is most important about being in the railway is being vigilant and being alert. It's important that in this day and age, most of us are wearing headphones or using our phones. It's your responsibility to make sure you're always aware of your surrounding and make sure that you're completely in control of yourself, so you're not on bikes or e-scooters or anything that may potentially lose control.
My name's Darren, I'm a train driver, but first of all, I'm a human being.
My name's Rush, I'm a train driver, but I'm a human first.